If you thought unlocking dark matter and nebula on the launchers was difficult, think again, cause Abyss is a thing, and we have to unlock King's Ransom. These camo challenges are difficult, but there are some shortcuts that no one knows about, so let's get into it. For the military camo challenges, you have to get 40 eliminations in Warzone. If you're not playing in the Plunder game mode, you're just wasting time. In Plunder, an elimination counts as two things, either a kill or an assist. Since the launchers aren't that good in the game, here are some things you can do to guarantee you're getting more eliminations, because unless you're getting direct impacts, you're not going to get a lot of kills. You are able to down an enemy and take them as a hostage. If you have a hostage and you release them, it's going to revive that enemy and they're going to be standing still. During that short period of time, they haven't clued in that they're now alive again. You're able to use your launcher to kill them. You can make this even easier by having a teammate take the enemy as hostage, and the second they're released, you're able to kill them, and it's not going to count as an assist. It is going to be a kill credited towards you. Regardless, it's an elimination. While this is extremely useful, you're going to get the majority of your eliminations just by damaging and killing enemies, especially in places like downtown and lowtown, which always see a lot of action throughout the entire game. At the beginning of a match, if you wait till the helicopter's end of flight path, you'll see a lot of AFK players that you can potentially get some kills on as well. This is also a very well-known strategy, so you're going to have a lot of other players going for camo challenges during the beginning of the games. You'll also be able to find the odd AFK player that will give you some free kills. The first special camo has the hardest challenge for both the Sigma and HE1. You are going to have to destroy 5 vehicles driven by enemy operators for both launchers. Specifically for the Sigma, it's able to lock onto vehicles, so all you have to do is see a vehicle, lock onto it, and destroy it. The hard part for the Sigma is the vehicle has to be destroyed while the enemy is still driving it. So if you lock onto a vehicle, shoot at it, but the enemy exits the vehicle before you see the XP pop up on your screen that says vehicle destroyed, it will not count as camo progression. There's also the heavy trucks around the map, which can withstand multiple Sigma rockets. So unless those vehicles are already weak, you're only going to get your progression by destroying enemies driving dirt bikes, ATVs, and the off-roading vehicles. You will notice from time to time, when you destroy an enemy vehicle, it's not going to explode right away. This is the one thing that you need to keep in mind. As long as you see vehicle destroyed while an enemy is driving it, that counts towards your camo progression. If they get out of the vehicle before that, it will not count. I was stupid and I didn't use it, but if you use the engineer perk, you're going to be able to see enemy vehicles through walls, making them easier to spot. Myself, I stayed in downtown and cargo. That's just the areas of the map, which I found lots of vehicles being driven around by enemies in games of Plunder. Let's switch gears to the HE1. Why is this launcher the worst fucking thing in the world to deal with? It does not lock on to enemy vehicles. So what you should do is have it as your secondary weapon at all times. Whenever there's an enemy driving a vehicle and you notice them, try to get as close to them as possible as fast as you can so you can get that destruction. Now the HE1 is stronger than the Sigma when it comes to vehicle damage because it doesn't lock on, meaning you'll be able to destroy enemy vehicles even by splash damage if the rocket hits relatively close to that vehicle. Of course, that's excluding the armored trucks. Since the HE1 doesn't lock on, the enemies driving vehicles don't get a warning that they've been locked onto by a launcher, so it's a little bit easier to get close to them and destroy their vehicles while they're driving before they exit. They're going to be dead and their vehicles destroyed before they even realize what happened. The Sigma's second special camo is unlocked by killing 5 airborne enemies. Now that does not include enemies flying in with parachutes. That would be a huge pain if that's what it was. This is specifically talking about enemies that are driving vehicles in the sky like helicopters. However, there is a huge exploit, at least I think it's an exploit for this camo challenge at the moment. In your Plunder matches, the second overtime starts, attack choppers are going to spawn in around the map. These are not player controlled, but every time you do destroy them, they will count towards your camo progression. Whether this is intended or not, take advantage of it while it's here. If for whatever reason this ever gets patched, you are going to have to destroy enemy-controlled helicopters that are being flown around the map. Surprisingly, the second military camo challenge for the HE1 is really easy. You just have to get 2 kills in a single match a couple of times. Thankfully, the HE1's direct impacts are really easy to hit in close range, and you can also use the taking enemies as hostages once they're downed to get some easy kills if you're struggling. Once all of that is done, you can work on the Gold Tiger camo, which is the same challenge for both launchers, and that's getting 3 destructions in a single match on vehicles and score streaks, so this time it's a little bit easier. The same thing goes as follows. For destroying enemy-controlled vehicles, everything's the exact same. However, you're now able to destroy enemy score streaks, which my favorite is the counter UAV. When you're going for this challenge exclusively, I would have my big map up, and whenever I would see a counter UAV get called in around the map, I would get as close to it as possible to destroy it. The Sigma can lock on and they're easy to destroy. The HE1, you have to be directly under the counter UAV. In my case, I only got progression towards this challenge by destroying enemy-driven vehicles. There is a score streak, which is the SAM turret, and destroying them also counts towards this camo challenge. I've just been very unlucky and have never found them being used in my games. Destroying a combination of any 3 of these is going to be what you need. Finally, to unlock King's Ransom, both launchers need to get 3 kills in a single match. This only needs to be done twice. And getting kills with the HE1, as we know, is pretty simple. The Sigma is where you're going to struggle. It loves to get hit markers, so unless the enemy's already weak or you hit a Hail Mary and direct impact them, you might want to use that hostage method to get your kills. Then, after all of that hard work and a couple therapy sessions, you have the King's Ransom camo.